Hey, welcome to Scout Reviews. I'm Josh.
And I'm Travis.
And today we are doing Reposado Tequila. We've got 3 here to choose from to review. Travis, why don't you tell everybody what a Reposado is?
Reposado translates to rested. So it is rested in barrels up to 11 months. So of note as well, tequila is made from one type of agave, the blue agave, if I can talk here. Generally gives it a very kind of unique, sweet taste. So reposado just means it's been rested. Means it's been allowed to sit in the barrel a little bit, age, take on a little bit of the color that we would expect.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So that's a minimum of 11 months.
Well, up to a maximum of
11 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what other types of tequila are there? There's Blanco, right?
Yep, and that is from production to bottle.
Okay.
Doesn't rest, doesn't see the inside of a barrel.
That's the stuff we grew up shooting, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Then you have, like I said, the Reposado, rested up to 11 months.
All right.
In oak. Then you have Añejo, which is going to be rested for a year to 2 years. And then you have an extra Añejo, which is 3 years and beyond. And then you have a Cristiliano, which is an Añejo, so up to 2 years, that has been run through charcoal filters to resemble a Blanco, but it retains the complexity of the Añejo, allegedly. So, that's a quick overview.
All right, and that doesn't include all the blends and everything else. A little bit of Tequila 101 for everybody.
Yep.
We're in Houston, where tequila is a big thing, as we are not too far from Mexico, as well as there is a very, very strong Mexican influence on just every part of our daily lives here.
Yes.
So what do we have? What do we have to drink here? What are we doing?
All right. So first off, we have a Centenario Reposado. So again, 100% agave, blue agave. It's important to notice as well that he mentioned the blended tequilas. That's referring to a gold. Gold is an unregulated tequila. So to be considered tequila, it has to be 100% blue agave. So a gold tequila is not. It could be 100%, but it doesn't have to be, and therefore it's not really considered a pure tequila.
Now, this particular Reposado is 40% alcohol by volume, so it's 80 proof. Now, is that fairly standard for across the line?
Yeah, you're gonna see about that.
Okay.
So yeah, you're gonna see about that. Again, 100% pure agave. This is the Espolon Tequila Reposado. Kind of a cool label on that, actually. So again, 40% alcohol by volume.
Okay.
It's from Jalisco.
All right. So Espolon is how it's pronounced?
I'm guessing. Yes.
Espolon.
Pardon if I'm mispronouncing that. I do apologize. All right. And then we have a Código 1530 Reposado, another Jalisco, Mexico product. And this one's going to be 40% alcohol by volume. So, all the same alcohol level, all Reposados. Doesn't really specify how long they were aged for. None of these do. So, just under a year in a barrel. And we'll go from there.
And this is the Código 1530 Reposado. Now, where are we at price-wise with all of this?
All right. So some of these have a pretty big variance depending on which store you go to.
Okay.
So let's just call this, for all intents and purposes, $35. I've seen it from $30 to about $40. So let's just call this $35. This one, where's this one at? About 40 or so?
I want to say it's 45 is
okay,
where I believe it's at.
So this one for this small bottle is 40. So you're looking at an actual, it could be up to 60 to 80 bottle.
No,
$80 a bottle?
70 to 80 is probably where that's going to be at.
Okay.
For a full-size bottle.
Okay.
Okay, because that's a 375 milliliter, 750, 750. Now, 750 milliliters is the standard bottle. That would be what we would term a fifth. Back when I was growing up. And now there are larger bottles. There are liter-sized bottles, stuff like that. I don't really have any of those unless it's vodka.
Yeah.
But 750 is a standard, 375 is half. Now there are some, and we'll get into it in other videos, but there are some alcohol, spirits, liquors that you buy that the largest size they come in is a 375 milliliter.
Yeah. And actually, not to go down a rabbit hole, but I think it's important to note, especially if you're trying to sample different alcohols, that the bottle size, you always think of little fireballs and the shooters and things like that at the liquor store. But if you look, a lot of times, some of these higher end distilleries will put sample bottles together for you to try. They figure it makes it a little more accessible. So, I mean, they can range from $2 to, I've seen little shooters that are $10. So it's just kind of fun to look and see and expand your collection and what you've been able to taste.
See what's out there.
So, all right.
Well, now, we haven't had any of these. We just opened them up, before we started rolling. And by opened up, I mean we removed the plastic and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And made sure the cork came out, kind of thing, and then put it right back. So it's going to be a first for us. So I think
go for it.
We'll start on here on our left.
Yep.
Okay, so we tend to go least expensive to most expensive. And I guess we'll stay on that trend here when it comes to reviews where we know what we're doing versus blind.
And if you've watched any of our videos, you'll know that price does not always dictate the quality.
Yeah. Now, this is something that I guess happens.
A little sugar separation there.
Yeah. And so if you look here, so this has probably been bottled for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. That doesn't mean it's bad.
No, just a little sugar. Not a bad thing. It's one of the features of a blue agave, though. It contains a lot of residual sugar. Okay. I like the pretty bottles, too. You can find some interesting
tequila does some interesting things with bottles because they're all trying to stand out separately, which is hard to do in the tequila world.
All right. This is a little bit more difficult to open up.
These little glasses aren't quite...
Does tickle the nose right nicely, though.
So immediately...
Smells like tequila.
I feel like I'm going to take a shot, is what it feels like based on the feel of my hand and the smell. Now, I like the smell. It doesn't smell like cheap tequila.
No. That's a good nose.
But it's a little... It's straight up tequila. It's got the vanilla notes. It's got the... I mean, when you smell tequila, you know what tequila is. It's definitely got that all in spades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Reposado, Reposado is an interesting in between. It's a good sipper. It's also a way to kick your margaritas up a notch or three from a Blanco.
Absolutely. Me myself, I tend to use a Reposado when I make margaritas.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that I'm not really a Blanco fan most of the time. But you would think I'd been shooting tequila all day.
That is alcohol abuse, sir.
Well, thank God it's only a $30 bottle.
All right. Well, before you lose the rest of it, let's
drink, see what happens here.
Oh, take another sip, dude. Take another sip. Don't judge.
Oh no, I judge immediately.
That is smooth, very smooth, not complex. So Reposado is not going to have the complexity that you're going to see in Añejo.
Nope.
Añejo is going to be oaked. It's going to be a little heavier, have a few more layers. Reposado is going to be a little bit more straightforward. It's not going to be as complex. It's going to have probably a little bit more burn. Which is what I think he's experiencing here.
No, burn's not a problem for me. I didn't like how it tasted at all.
Really?
Yeah, I did not like that flavor.
Interesting. Not bad. Not bad. I like it when he does.
Yeah, it's just not for me.
Yeah.
Of course, my bar is set really high. You know that?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I'm just looking at what your Clase Azules,
1146.
1146. You got the little crystal.
I'm an añejo person. I love añejo just a little bit. When it comes to tequila, I am a tequila snob. That doesn't stop me from drinking good tequila, though. I just don't like the flavor on this.
Again, what you use a reposado for is a way to, you can use some of them as a sipper, but it's a good way to kick your margaritas up a notch or two from a Blanco blend. Or, shall I say, a gold, which is not going to be 100%. So
yeah, it just depends on what it is. So, since I'm having pouring issues,
I will take care of the next one, sir.
Yeah, you go get the next one. That's why we have a bar with a mat, by the way.
Yeah, we're going to have to hose it off after you're done.
Whatever, it goes in the dishwasher. My mat anyways. All right, so
I don't expect, I'm just going to say this here as well, I don't expect to like a reposado as much as I like añejo. I'm a predominantly a whiskey Scotch drinker. That being said, I do appreciate other whiskeys, but I prefer a little more complex.
I have learned through our channel that I am a bourbon and tequila person more than anything else so far.
Interesting.
And we started with scotches.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is the crazy part. Don't get me wrong, I love me a good scotch. But
yeah,
I am finding that I am more of a bourbon person than I am a scotch person. And then I am a tequila person more than I am anything else. And of course, rum is always a choice, a good choice.
Yeah.
All right, so on the nose, I get the same nose. Just not as fruity. I get more salt on this one.
Yep. Very similar nose.
Yeah. I already tasted it.
I'll catch up. Again, very similar taste, too.
I don't like that one either.
Well, like I said, sometimes with some reposados you can sip them, but really, it's the next step up it's an upgraded margarita mixer.
I've had golds and blancos that are better than both of those.
You bite your tongue.
I'm being honest.
Nothing wrong with that. That's why we experiment. All right. Well.
All right. So let's see if the Codigo is a waste of money or not. Because this is actually quite pricey for a reposado. This is more añejo price range. Regular bottle, no additional thrills or any of that.
And I tell you what, we're still learning. So if you guys have a reposado that you like, let us know in the comments. We'd like to try it.
Please.
We are open to suggestions.
I am always looking.
Okay. Go ahead and sniff, and then let me tell you what the first thing that hits my head.
That's different.
All right. You're gonna make fun of this one. I'm just gonna foreshadow. A little foreshadowing there. Grandma's house potpourri bowl.
I get why you would say that, but that's not what I'm getting.
I get that. So, you go over to your grandmother's house. She's always got that bowl of potpourri by the front door.
So it doesn't smell like most tequilas would.
It doesn't. A little more rose, hibiscus.
Now, was this aged in any particular types of bottles?
It doesn't say.
It does not say, does it?
We know it wasn't aged up to a year. It was aged up to.
It's awfully dark, though.
Excuse me. Up to a year.
It's awfully
now,
dark.
they could have toasted the barrel, too, a little bit more.
That's possible.
And that could have given it a little more darkness.
I don't know if I like the nose.
I personally don't. I'm going to say that. I get apple, cinnamon, I don't get the traditional tequila smell. I get apple, cinnamon, rose, hibiscus.
It smells weird.
It does. Potpourri. I get potpourri.
Weird.
All right, let's try.
Let's down the hatch. Oh,
I actually probably don't like the yeah.
Nope.
It's gonna be hard to rank these. So, folks, again, this is a way to upgrade your margarita.
No. There are better choices. I wouldn't choose any of these.
I wouldn't recommend sipping these personally.
I wouldn't recommend any of these even as a mixer.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Even a little orange juice, tequila
sunrise?
Nope,
I would not recommend any of these.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I've had worse resorts in Cancun.
Hornitos Blanco is better than all of these. And it's $30. Just so you know.
There you go. And I'll attest to that, actually.
And I can, because I can sip it.
Mm-hmm. Hornitos Blanco is surprisingly good.
We have it on our shelf. That's why I know.
Yeah, I've had it. All right. Well, this is informative. We learned a lot about Reposado. We learned that we are probably...
This is the first video that for me, that I didn't like anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't... I mean, I personally... I could see trying to mix some of them, but of them all, this is definitely my least favorite. I probably like this one the best, if I'm not lying. I mean, I don't care for any, but I like...
If you had to choose?
Yeah, if I had to choose, I'd go with this one.
I mean, if I had to choose, I would choose that one, but they're almost identical, so...
Yeah. Again, we've learned from our tasting profiles that we like a little more complexity.
Yep.
We like things aged in a barrel.
So we have an Añejo tequila video that we will be doing soon.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully those are different results.
Yeah. Let's hope.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm Josh.
I'm Travis.
And this has been Scout Reviews. Thank you for joining us.